Year 5 and welcome to week 2 of literacy. Before I start this week's lesson, I want to say well done to all those that managed to upload their learning from last week. Especially well done to Horace for editing his work, and India, fantastic fact file on Victorian life. Great. This week's learning, we are looking at an extract by Louis Sachar, and the book is called There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom. And it's exactly the same as last week. You're going to read the extract, and I am also going to have a recorded version for you to listen to. And then you do the 5 activities. I would start with number 1 on Monday, do number 2 on Tuesday, and just carry on the rest of the week that way. At the end of the week on Friday, I'd like you to upload 2 of those activities in your home learning folder under your own name in purple mash. One of those activities must be a writing activity, and the other one must be one of your choice. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, there are 2 different worksheets you can choose from to do your learning from. One is a PDF format, and that's for most children to work from, and it's entitled Year 5 and 6, There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom by Louis Sachar. Okay, the second version is a Word document, and that's for those children that would find the PDF a little bit too challenging, and that's entitled Year 5 Literacy Week 2 Supported Learning. So you choose either one of those 2 to work from. All right, and then I look forward to seeing your learning next week. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy yourself and keep well and safe. Lots of love. Bye-bye. There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom by Louis Sachar. Bradley Chalker sat at his desk in the back of the room, last seat, last row. No one sat at the desk next to him or at the one in the front of him. He was an island. If he could have, he would have sat in the closet. Then he could shut the door so he wouldn't have to listen to Mrs. Ebble. He didn't think she'd mind. She'd probably like it better that way too. So would the rest of the class. All in all, he thought everyone would be much happier if he sat in the closet. But, unfortunately, his desk didn't fit. "Class," said Mrs. Ebble, "I would like you all to meet Jeff Fishkin. Jeff has just moved here from Washington, D.C., which, as you know, is our nation's capital." Bradley looked up at this new kid who was standing at the front of the room next to Mrs. Ebble. "Why don't you tell the class a little bit about yourself, Jeff?" urged Mrs. Ebble. The new kid shrugged. "There's no reason to be shy," said Mrs. Ebble. The new kid mumbled something, but Bradley couldn't hear what it was. "Have you ever been to the White House, Jeff?" Mrs. Ebble asked. "I'm sure the class would be very interested to hear about that." "No, I've never been there," the new kid said very quickly as he shook his head. Mrs. Ebble smiled at him. "Well, I guess we'd better find you a place to sit." She looked round the room. I don't see any place except, I suppose you can sit there at the back." "No, not next to Bradley," a girl in the front row exclaimed. "At least it's better than in front of Bradley," said the boy next to her. Mrs. Ebble frowned. She turned to Jeff. "I'm sorry, but there are no other empty desks." "I don't mind where I sit," Jeff mumbled. "Well, nobody likes sitting there," said Mrs. Ebble. "That's right," Bradley spoke up. "Nobody likes sitting next to me." He smiled a strange smile. He stretched his mouth so wide it was hard to tell whether it was a smile or a frown. He stared at Jeff with the bulging eyes as Jeff awkwardly sat down next to him. Jeff smiled back at him, so he looked away. As Mrs. Ebble began the lesson, Bradley took out his pencil and a piece of paper and scribbled. He scribbled most of the morning, sometimes on the paper and sometimes on his desk. Sometimes he scribbled so hard his pencil point broke. Every time that happened, he laughed. Then he'd tape the broken point to one of the gobs of junk in his desk, sharpen his pencil, and scribble again.